Do you think the drinking, smoking, all the stuff going on increased after your dad died?
It definitely did. I didn't always see it as a coping mechanism, but looking back on it, I can see that it was pretty
Probably
clearly.
was, yeah. Tucker, it's not often that I get to sit down with somebody from Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh.
You were born there?
I was.
Wow, so lived there all your life.
Essentially. I lived in Korea for 2 years. So that
When
was
was
fun.
that?
My dad was stationed there in 2007, and I moved back in 2008.
So he's got to be a Navy guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the naval station down in Norfolk and stuff. And how long was he in the Navy?
21 years.
Wow. Wow. He gets out of that and does what?
Contracting, and then after that, got his master's in business.
Like contracting the flu or contracting?
Something like that.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
just deals with the Navy. And then after that, did financial advisory.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. And then something happened.
So he was diagnosed with cancer when I was about 8 years old.
God,
Fought
really?
that until about 2 Octobers ago where he passed away.
Wow.
Oh.
Did that have anything to do with you ending up at Heartlight eventually?
I would like to think some of it did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it defines me truly as a person, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a contributing factor.
So how does it contribute? How does that, do you remember the day that it happened, and were you prepared? Were you expecting it? I mean,
pretty vividly. My life was going just about normal when he was diagnosed. Like, everything kind of dropped a little bit. Just,
wow.
it's always a hard thing to wake up with.
Yeah.
But shortly after he died, or when he was dying, they told us he had a few months, but just happened to be a week later that he did pass.
Wow.
It was a little shocking, kind of difficult.
Remember your last words, or his last words to you?
Tucker, stop playing in my wheelchair. Yeah. It was in the hospital a few days before he did die. He lost speech functions for his last few days.
My mom's last words to me were, "Your mustache is so white."
That's awesome.
And I go, really? And people think that it's their last words that are their most important words. I go, no, I don't think so.
Mine were just funny.
So. Yeah. You get along with your family okay?
For the most part.
Yeah.
My brothers and I are very close.
Yeah.
2 little brothers.
And so when he died, did you guys kind of connect together with, your brothers? Did it become a stronger bond?
I'd like to think so. I wasn't always around for the most part, but I tried to be close with them and not really mentor them because I didn't want to take over the role of my dad, but just be there for him.
So what do you mean, not around, just out doing stuff, or?
I didn't spend a lot of time at home, just kind of was distracted with my life. Was all over the place for a while.
Do you think it started when your dad died?
I experimented with a few things before his passing, but then kind of got a little heavier shortly after he died.
Wow. And so what ended up getting you to Heartlight? There's some reason you're, 20-hour drive away from Norfolk, Virginia.
That was fun to find out it was happening at 3 a.m. for sure.
Were you transported
I
here?
was.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was
what was
fun.
that like?
Well, normally my mom wakes me up for school, and I wake up. Sometimes I do wake up a little bit before, and I see her walking into the door, and I'm like, oh, it must be time for school. So I wake up in the middle of the night. Coincidentally, she's walking in. I'm like, oh, it must be time for school. I'm starting to muster out the words, Mom, what time is it? And I see 2 giant silhouettes following behind her.
Oh.
I go to reach for my phone, and it's snatched out before I can grab it.
Yeah.
So I reach for my lamp, turn it on, and there's 2 giant men in the room waiting to take me.
And they say you're going someplace.
Yeah, I was pretty hysterical, for sure.
Oh, God. What do you think started that? Well, what do you think got to where everything got to that point that your mom's saying, okay, he's got to go somewhere?
For a lot of it, it was just a lot of miscommunication between her and I. We didn't really see eye to eye on a lot of things. I adopted some habits that I'm not very fond of.
Habits like what?
I was smoking a lot and drinking, partying, so.
Did she try to talk to you?
She did. We worked on it for a while, and just things got a little better, then they got a little worse, and it was just inconsistent. And
do you think the drinking, smoking, all the stuff going on increased after your dad died?
It definitely did.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't always see it as a coping mechanism, but looking back on it, I can see that it was pretty
Probably
clearly.
was, yeah. So if you had to describe him, what words would you use to describe him?
It's a hard question, actually. I don't know. There was this one time my mom asked him what part of the ship he would be. If he was a part of a boat, he answered anchor.
Really?
I mean, yeah, he was pretty stubborn, but in a good way, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so do you think your mom could have done anything different when it started to spin out of control a little bit? Could she have done anything different that would have changed you being here or even having to come here?
I mean, at the end of the day, it was all my decision-making and choices, but I mean, our communication wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Led to a lot of disagreements and fights and misconceptions that we've worked on since I've been here.
Wow.
And our relationship has gotten a lot better.
Wow.
But throughout most of it, I mean, it was just, oh, what I'm doing, and she sees it as this when I'm really doing something for that purpose.
Yeah.
Then that's just not meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
Just not a very good agreement. But
Well, she had to be scared to get somebody else to come pick you up. And she was afraid that you wouldn't listen to her or you'd take off. Or, I mean, that's usually when parents say, let's use, a transport service to get somebody somewhere.
No.
Were you that scary at that point?
I don't think I was scary. It was just more of, I was a little stubborn. I didn't really agree with most of her decision making at that point. We didn't really see eye to eye.
Yeah.
I was out of the house as much as I could be.
So you're stubborn. So you think you're going to be the anchor of the family like your dad was?
I would hope so. But
Well, that'd be a pretty admirable thing. I mean, when
I
you
would think so.
about it, if you're, you say your dad's stubborn, you're stubborn.
I mean, in a
There's
good
gotta-
way.
there- well, no. I think stubbornness can take you to a great place. I mean, it means you stick to what you believe, and if it's good things. I mean, an anchor is a good thing, so that's pretty cool. Okay, if there's one thing that you can change about what choices you were making and everything else in the past, what would that be? What would you change?
Oh, probably just kind of, I guess I'm still searching for what the root of everything I've done
Yeah.
since has become part of it, but
You feel
probably
you feel like you've gotten over that stuff, though?
I mean, with grieving my father's death, I don't really think so, just because that's a process and it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think there's still work I can do. I still think there's some things that go unfinished.
You'll probably be grieving the rest of your life,
Most
I would
likely.
think. I mean, I think that would be normal.
I
If you'd ever thought about your dad or never teared up or never, I think that'd be kind of odd.
I would agree.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in and sharing a bit. I mean, it's interesting to hear that part of your story, and I hope that the reflection of your personality is what motivated your dad to go into the sales that he was going into and what he was doing, because it's a very attractive personality. And my prayer for you is that you can be that anchor in your family and fill the void that your dad left, and especially in your little brothers. They're going to need somebody healthy and doing well when he gets back home. That's a pretty admirable deal.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, see ya.